I have given you a special note on the ratios and the PE ratios with regard to shares. I think you must have received this one, special notes. I'm not sure whether you have received this previously. Just to go through this, this is important. Next time I can test you this at least for 2 marks, these things, right? Or then the 5 marks also possible under this. Now there you can see some ratios, P ratio, how to calculate the P ratio, price earning ratio. So very important ratio when you're dealing with shares. And when you're given a P ratio, how do you select a share? Basically, we go for the lowest. If you are given two shares, select the lower P. That's how we do it, right? So I think it has been uploaded, and now this and listing requirements again. I just want to reiterate you all. I have given you separate notes also on this one, right? And investor ratios. So these are the few ratios: profitability ratio and valuation ratio. Also, I have mentioned some. So these are the things I just wanted to give some ratio as well. Right? Just go through this, keep in mind. Right? Ratios, of course, you have to keep in mind. Examiner can test you some ratios with regard to investment decisions. Now, for example, when you want to purchase a share, when you want to buy a share, when you want to invest in a share, so P/E ratio is one of them. So there are many factors you should consider before you invest. So the dividend ratio, how much this particular share has given dividend over the previous years. So that is a factor for you to select share for investment. So P ratio is like screening ratio. If the P ratio is not there, so you don't select it. Now, for example, when you are doing a project appraisal, the project appraisal, how do you accept the project? NPV is positive. Then you accept the project. Now, there is another one. Before you calculate the NPV, payback period. How long will it take for you to give back whatever the investment you made? So if it is longer, you don't select it. Now say there is a company policy, payback period should be below 3. So if there is anything above, even the NPV is positive, you don't select it. That is your policy. So basically, it is basically against the policy. So if you have a policy like this, even this particular project is giving negative, positive NPV, which we should select. The NPV is positive, we should select. But the company policy is what? At least to recover this whatever the investment within 3 years time. So if this project is not giving payback, this project's payback period is not 3 years. So then you don't select like that, right? So there are two things. I have uploaded this to you all, and please go through. Capital preservation and capital protection is also I have given. So that is also important for you to understand new terms, right? Those are new terms for your. So I'll be giving some new terms once we receive. The examiner can text you sometimes, so basically we will be learning that as well. Now, so we have been discussing the past paper with you all. Any question you need to raise? Any question you need to raise? Is there any question for you to raise? Is there any question? So basically, we have been discussing with you all latest question paper, and 2021 paper with you all. Have you gone through this paper or what? We have done. The other day we actually did it the longest question, sub question in this paper. Just wanted to show you longest question is the easiest question, right? Longest question is the easiest question in this paper. So basically, you mislead, don't mislead by the number of sentences in the question paper for the question. So basically, just attempt it. So then I will be taking the next question with you. Question number 6, I think you can see this. If you have any question, please raise now. We have done this question. So shall we attempt to then question number 6 we were doing. We have completed the 6.2, this Kanakaraj question. Remember the other day? Now shall we attempt to question number 1? Mr. Vinita, age 25, is working as an assistant accountant in a conglomerate. Now remember what is a conglomerate? Now under vertical, remember the vertical and horizontal integration we did it? Horizontal means what? Now these are the question examiner can test you, right? And it has tested. Horizontal means same line of business. You get together, there are two companies, same line of business. You get together. Horizontal. හරහට වගේ. හරහට ඉරක් තියෙනවා. එකම මට්ටමේ ඉන්නේ. So the vertical means the supply chain. Now remember the example I took it. Fresh milk, then the seller. So they get together. Example I brought here what? Cosmolic and the Cargills. You keep in mind and you won't forget. So the supply chain from the basically the product end use and supply get together. Integration. So another integration we have learned conglomerate. Right? If the examiner asks 2, vertical and integrated. If the examiner asks 3, conglomerate is also another one. So some textbooks say 2, some say 3. So if it is 2, remember vertical and horizontal. Right? Now she is planning to save 20% her salary and does not have immediate liquidity requirement for 10 years. Also, now she is 25, she is planning to save 20% her salary and does not have immediate liquidity requirement for another 10 years. So, අවුරුදු 10ක් වෙනකම් දැන් අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. So meaning is what? We can invest her money. She can invest her money for 10 years. Now, if you have given a question like this, what is the instrument you should have in your mind? What is the instrument you have? The maturity period. Maturity period available maturity period is 10 years. Do you have any product in FD? FD dinner out of the higher? No. Pressure bid? No. Debenture? Debenture very rare 10 years. But if you want, you can. We can say only 5 years. What else? Treasury bonds. Treasury bonds is the only instrument we can see 10-year instrument. Now, and also remember this. Now say you are offered a 10-year instrument and the 5-year instrument. You have money. You have asked to select either 5-year treasury bond, 10-year treasury bond. Which one you select? Both are treasury bonds, so there is no risk. Why? Why risk is not there? Treasury bonds issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka on behalf of who? Government. So the governments are not defaulting. Even 30 years, even 35 years, government is honoring. So there is no risk. So the same line. Risk-wise, same. So then which instrument you select? 10-year or 5 years? Obviously, you will go for 5 years. Why? And 10-year it gives 11%. 5-year it gives only 9%. So the two different yields, right? Two different yields. Now, is that correct or wrong? Two different yields. Now, the 5-year bond gives only 9%. 10-year bond gives only 11%. So that it can, is this reality or something different? No, it is reality, right? The instrument which has shorter tenor gives lower yield than longer yield. Why? So, what do you have when you have a longer tenor? What do you have? Now, even this is a treasury bond, there is no risk. But people are asking for what? Maturity premium. No hurry there. So when you have treasury bonds longer term, then you are comfortable that everything will be settled within 5 years time. But if you make an investment for 10 years, then there is a kind of risk. There is no risk. Remember, there is no risk investing in treasury bond, which risk is not there. Default risk. I am talking about the default risk or the credit risk. Government is anyway paying that. But only thing, so if I am the investor, I like investing 5 years than 10 years. We don't know what will happen within 10 years. But we can see actually there is a possibility to predict or wait till 5 years than waiting for 10 years. But if you ask me to invest in 10-year instrument, then you need to give more sum. You need to give more than the 5 years. So then what do you want to give more in terms of yield? So the 9% 5 years, 11% 10 years. So 2% I am giving you for your investment in 10 years. So what is this 2% we have learned? Now see, everything we have learned, what is this 2%? Risk premium. No? Now if you take, remember the CAPM formula? Risk-free plus beta within bracket market premium, market yield minus risk-free. There are the within bracket two variables, market return minus risk-free rate. We have given one word. What is that? Market premium given one word. What is that? That is risk. That is maturity premium. Maturity premium. Maturity premium. So there is no risk by investing in treasury bonds, but we are actually having only maturity premium. That's why the 2% is maturity. So anybody likes to invest in shorter tenor than longer tenor. Got it? So now this question, requirement immediate does not have immediate liquidity requirement for 10 years. The obvious investment is in what? Treasury bonds. Straight. He does not have any inherited wealth at present. Equity market in the past, last 20-year cumulative average growth CAGR has given a return 15%. Share market, then now they're talking about the share market, equity market. And fixed income security market has given 11%. Which one gives more? Share market gives more. But is that correct or wrong? Share market gives more than the fixed income market. Fixed income security means GSEC. Fixed income again, treasury bill, treasury bonds, debenture, those. The share market gives more. That's true. Why? High risk, high return. That's the word. High risk, high return. So there is a risk. So generally, if there is high risk, people are expecting more return. Now here it has happened actually. Share market gives longer term. Share market gives long, right? Share market gives. So the high risk, high return. So the return is basically higher. The risk is higher, right? So the fixed income market gives only 11%. This one gives 15%. Now for the real estate investment statistics show that return for past 20-year period is 30%. Further, real estate investment statistics show that return for the past 20-year period is 30% on CAGR basis. Considering her age, risk-taking ability, her current wealth level and her liquidity requirement, what would be the most suited investment type for her? What do you say? Is she a citizen, senior citizen? No. Does she want to basically taking into account the risk? Yes, risk has to be taken anyway. It doesn't matter the age. Age is not a deciding factor for you to take risk or not. Obviously, senior citizens should not take risk. But even Vinita is at 25, she has to worry about the risk as well. The money. True that she can take risk than the senior citizen. That is the different issue. But of course, her money, right? Her money. Padadu, good morning. Hello. Oh, Padadu. මම කිව්වා මට එන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා මම ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නේ. ක්ලාස් එක කරන ගමන් So basically, so then what will be the answer? Risk-taking ability, her current wealth level and her liquidity requirement. what would be the most suited investment type for her. Now, she does not need money immediately. Then she can go for longer tenor instrument. After 10 years only she needs. So the different yield rates have been given. Equity market in the past, this much. 15% fixed income security market. Then the 30% real estate market. So which one you select basically? Now the examiner asking you a liquidity requirement, what could be the most suited investment type for her? What could be the most important, what would be the most suited investment? So the one investment only she asked. So basically, there is no particular answer for this, the correct or wrong answer. It depends basically based on your justification only. Now somebody can say it doesn't matter, even the 10-year bond would do this. But now if you take today decision for 10-year instrument, if the interest rate goes up in the future, if the interest rate goes up in the future, so you will be losing it. You will be losing it. Now, examiner has not given anything on other economic indicators. Examiner has not given anything on other indicators. Examiner has not given anything on other economic indicators, whether the future interest rates will go up, future interest rates will come down, policy rates will change. Nothing has been given. Basically, we'll have to go by the products only. Products only. So then you can suggest different answers. Different answers. So basically, what I feel it. So basically you should not invest in. You can have this equity investment also. You can have portion, but the exam is asking only the most suited investment. So there should be only one there. There should be only one. There should be only one. Real estate investment statistics show that the return is 20%. So now here the 10-year bond is there. There is no risk, but only the yield may be different, right? So the equity market only gives 15%, fixed income market gives only 11%. Now it depends basically. So then here the 30%, the return is 20-year is 30% for the real investment. So the best investment here, what I can see is real investment, real estate investment. So why we have selected? So she is young. So basically she does not need any liquidity requirement now. Is not worrying about the payment back. So basically higher yield is her most important part. So when the 30% basically gives under real estate investment. So that is the answer we should select based on her risk appetite. Here the answer we are selecting based on the risk appetite only, right? So then the question number 3 here, sub question number 3, examiner has given this table for you. Sri Lanka is a country with net imports. Country's balance of payment has been in negative territory during the last decade and expected to continue. Now, following information illustrated is relevant to Sri Lanka country. 1 year treasury bill, 1 year back, the 1 year ago 750, current 9, estimated it can go up to 7%, right? Hello? Oh. කියලා සමත් නැද්ද? ඒකත් ඒකනේ. ඒකත් ඉතින් හරි. Now 10-year treasury bond. Today 1250, 1 year ago 10, and there is a reduction in coming 5 years. Share market today it gives 14 P, 1 year back 10, and the next 5 years we are assuming 11%. Inflation today 7, previous year 650. Now in coming 5 years there is a reduction of 250, reduction of inflation to 250. So there is a reduction of inflation. Now see the last one, what is pay balance of payment. Now today minus 6%, 1 year back 1%. Now next 5 years 0.5% minus. Now if you analyze this particular one, economic indicators, to analyze this particular economic indicators, so can you identify any relationship between these economic indicators? Sometimes it is possible. Huh? Now, how do you identify the particular one? Is that correct or wrong? Now see, treasury bill and treasury bonds. There is a possibility to come down next few years, next 5 years. Within 5 years time, there is a reduction. From 9 to 7, from 1250 to 9. There is a reduction, expecting a reduction. So when the interest rate expecting a reduction, government treasury bill, treasury bond expecting a reduction, obviously country's interest rate should have a decreasing trend. So there is a lower regime of interest rate. When you have a lower regime of interest rate, what is your view on inflation? Inflation also should come down. Why? Now remember, if you can remember treasury bill, treasury bonds, how did we calculate our treasury bill rate? How did we calculate? Real interest rate plus inflation. So the treasury bill, treasury bond rates are already inflation adjusted. Already inflation adjusted. Already inflation adjusted. Right? Already inflation adjusted. So basically, these fundamentals are correct. 7, 9 in rates have come down. Inflation also coming down. So basically, interest rate and the inflation go hand in hand. Now, examiner can test you this in different ways, right? He can give you treasury bill, treasury bond rates or bond rates and inflation. It should go in hand. So what is the examiner asking this time? Now, then the share market is also getting better. P is going to come down. Balance of payment is also getting 0.5% minus. Right? Now, the examiner asks you, Ms. Trimali sold her house and moved to a new apartment with her husband. She considered investing the money she received in T-bill, T-bond or equity market and expects to utilize that money in 5 years' time. Ms. Trimali sold her house and moved to a new apartment. Ms. Trimali sold her house and moved to a new apartment with her husband. She considered investing the money she received in treasury bill, treasury bonds. Treasury bill, treasury bonds. government instrument, there is no risk. Or equity shares, there is a risk. And expect to utilize that money in 5 years' time. For sunset unity education, she expects preservation of capital as the most important aspect. Now, the Vinita's question, it has not mentioned anything there. When you want to preserve your capital, when you want to protect your capital, obviously you should not invest much. Yes. Basically, if the share market is basically going well, there is a possibility. There is a possibility of you can earn capital gain as well. That is true. But depending on the risk, because her son needs money after 5 years' time. So we can't take much risk, right? She can't take much risk. Now, can you see by looking at these economic indicators whether the share market is going well or is there any possibility we can see that share market is going well in next 5 years' time? Estimated 5 years' time? Yes, of course. Why? The PE has come down. And also, interest rate has come down. Interest rate also coming down. When the interest rate comes down in a particular country, obviously, people will move from deposit products to other alternative investment opportunities, which is shares. Now, take the present scenario of Sri Lanka. Now we are on the rising of interest rates. We had low regime of interest rates. Now the central bank has removed that everything, policy rate increase. Now we are on the rising of interest rate. We are on the rising of interest rate. Now when the interest rate goes up, obviously what will happen? People will move to deposit products. But you can see now even share market performs well. Now the other day it has reached 10,000 ASI mark points, and it is basically going at 9,915 or that level. So basically it will again reach 10,000. It's reached and came down. Now share market also performing well. And also you can see people, there are shifting, the shifts happen from fixed deposit to treasury bill market as well. Why? Treasury bill rate has gone up. 3 months treasury bill rate 8.04 now. 6 months 8.16 now. How much your bank pays for 3 months? Less than, obviously less than 8%. Right? So then the people will move to treasury bill. But people have not forgotten to invest in share market as well. So the share market investments also happen. So there is fundamentally imbalance, but it's happening now as well, right? So generally, what I want to tell you, when the interest rate comes down, people will move from interest rate products to other alternative investment. Example, share market and all. For the share market here also going up, even we are at the rising interest rate, right? To expect the reservation of capital. So basically, we should not select equity. So basically, you should go for treasury bill or treasury bond. So what would be the best instrument to achieve her investment objective? So out of treasury bill, treasury bond, which one you select? Which one you select? So there is a tendency to go up. There is a tendency to go up. So basically, you can select treasury bills. Why? So the estimated 5 years, you are expecting more yield. So basically, rather than putting now, you of course there is no possibility to put the 5-year treasury bills. Straight away you can have this treasury bond for 5 years, but every now they are expecting. I'm sorry, treasury bill rate, there is a possibility to come down. So then what you should select basically? Basically, you can select treasury bond for 5 years. Now, why? You need to invest at a higher rate now than the 5 years time. Now, say that is also possible. Why? When you're selecting a investment in this particular question, treasury bond, today you're putting at 12.5%. That is 10 years. 5 year also we say somewhere around 11% can have it. So then the other option is 11%. 11% you can put to 5 years, but examiner has not given. Examiner has given only 10-year treasury bond. Now you have to select 10-year treasury bond, 1-year treasury bill, but she needs money 5 years after 5 years. What is your recommendation? The one recommendation is you can ask her to invest in treasury bond, treasury bills 1 year. Maximum treasury bill goes 1 year. Right? So then after 1 year again she will be investing, reinvestment. Now do you see any reinvestment risk here? Today it's 9%, but estimated 5 years time there is a reduction by 2%. So then there is a reinvestment risk here, interest rate risk here. If you go for 1 year treasury bill, so then what is the option you have? 10-year treasury bond, but she needs money after 5 years. So by investing in 10-year treasury bond, can she realize after 5 years time? Yeah, treasury bill, treasury bond can be realized. Highly liquid instrument. So highly liquid instrument. Can she realize this after 5 years time with a profit? Yes, of course. When the interest rates come down, depending on the yield and the pricing, there is a possibility of 1 second. So now, අපි 3% විතරයි charge කරන්නේ. ඒකට 240 වෙන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. ක්‍රෙඩිට් කාඩ් වලට ඒ දවස්වල 5% charge කළා ඒ දවස්වල. දැන් ආයෙත් 3% වලට අඩු කරලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් සර් මේ අපි 3% තමයි charge කරනකොට. ඒක 208ක් වගේ තමයි. අවසන් ඊට වඩා නැහැ. අනිත් මම කිව්ව item ඔබ exclude කරලා තියෙනවා unnecessary ඒවා විතරයිද? බේස් එතකොට food items වලට කාවලා තියෙන food items travel වල තියෙන අනේවට government petroleum වල තියෙනවා. petroleum නෑ government petroleum ඒවා නෑ. හරි. Sorry. Now, see when the yield rate comes down, obviously you have more price and the yield relationship. When the yield comes down, price should go up. Now, same thing we are expecting. Yield comes down, price should go up. So obviously she can sell, she can realize this particular treasury bond instrument at the capital. So that will be your answer. So the next sub question, that Mr. Kanja is an importer who pays USD for his imports. He is worried about depreciating local currency where his import costs are going up each month. Now, understand that he is worried about depreciating local currency. Does he need to worry about depreciating local currency? Importer. Should the importers worry about the local currency depreciation or the rupee? Here the rupee depreciation. Importers should worry about or not? Should be. Importers have to pay more. And who will be lucky? Who will like to have rupee depreciate? Exporters, right? They like to have rupee to depreciate. Exporters, right? They can convert, by conversion they can get more. where his import costs are going up when the rupee depreciates, yes. He is planning to enter into a series of forward exchange rate contracts. Remember the under hedging instrument, under the derivative instrument we have learned is the most popular hedging instrument presently. Presently it's banned, but yes, there are forward exchange contracts. Then what do you expect? You are expecting earn a profit? No, you're just expecting. You are expecting to or mitigate the risk next 5 years into series of forward exchange contracts for next 5. Generally, banks enter into forward exchange contracts 6 months, maximum 1 year. 1 year is very rare, but 3 to 6 months are the maximum. As an investment advisor, how would you advise him on this decision? Do you recommend him to go for forward exchange contract? That's the question they're asking. It's a 5-mark question. As an investment advisor, how would you advise him on this decision? Now, does this relate to the above economic indicators? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if you analyze the economic indicators given, and there is a chance of sometimes now see when the interest rates are lower, when a country's present interest rates are lower, foreigners are not coming and investing. That's true. Foreigners are not coming and investing. Why? They have lower yield. When the country's government security yields are higher, foreigners come and they convert their dollars into rupees and they invest. That's the normal pattern. But they take into account maturity. Now, on the maturity, now say that foreigner comes and invests in 5-year treasury bond. Today, exchange rate is 200. After 5 years' time, 250. Will he invest? No. There is a loss. So the exchange rate, usage exchange rate also matters. Now, in this particular question, if you relate the question number 4 and the economic indicators, you can relate it. How? Today they come, investors, and today they will invest 10-year treasury bond 1250. Example. Now 10-year treasury bond. Now generally foreigners are not selling before it gets mature. Generally, foreigners are not selling. They're selling in between before it gets matured. If something goes wrong with the political stability and the exchange, now the 2018, if you can remember, same thing happened. So they are actually pulling out their investment. The exchange was increased by 30 rupees. So then those days, yes. Now, like that. So if unusual things happen, yes, they will do it. Otherwise, they are holding it till maturity. Holding it till maturity. Today they invest. But after 10 years, if they own, say, now they also like to have what? More gain. So if they like, they can sell it in between. Can they earn capital gain? Yes, of course. Before now, 5 years time, there's prediction to come down to 7. So they can sell at a capital gain. So then they can go. Now, what I feel is by looking at this economic indicators, when the interest rate comes down, there is a reduction of foreigners coming and investing in government securities. Now these days, interest rate goes up, there is expectation foreigners will come and invest. And exchange also stabilized now these days, 200, 203 level, it has been there. So basically, interest rate going up. So the foreigners, the government or central bank is expecting foreigners to come and invest in government sector. Here, what do you see? Now, in future, today it is a ideal time for foreigners to come and invest. But in the future, there is a reduction of coming foreign investment. Why? Interest rate reduction is expected. Interest rate reduction is expected. So when the interest rates are lower, foreigners are not coming. Generally. So when the foreigners are not coming, what will happen? There is additional pressure on the exchange. Same thing we are experiencing now as well. We have short supply of dollars. Right? When the foreigners are not coming. Foreign investment is one source of foreign currency supply. Right? Now, when you relate to these economic indicators, there is a reduction in foreign exchange rates in the future, but that is 5 years time. But remember, as I told you, forward exchange contracts are not entered into more than 6 months, maximum 1 year. So the 5 years in here. Now, forget about this economic indicator and think about what we have learned in the class. Do you recommend him to go for rupee forward exchange contract? Yes, why? Now he is expecting what? He is worried about depreciating local currency. So obviously you are expecting rupee to depreciate. Obviously you should go for foreign exchange forward contract. Obviously you should buy or import. You have to protect from the forex exposure. Okay? Yes, you should do that. The examiner is not asking anything about. Now he says there is a possibility of now this guy Kanja expecting exchange rate to depreciate. But what is your view? In the first here, Freeland is a country's net import, country's balance, and based on the above information, answer question 6, 3, and 5. So basically, based on this only you have to answer. Now say that's why I took it. Isolate if you take it, yes, this has to be done. Why? Somebody says if somebody now is basically expecting exchange depreciate. Of course, you should go for foreign exchange contract. But based on this scenario, based on this economic indicator, do you expect a depreciation? Local currency depreciation? Do you expect? If it is not, why? Based on what you say? I don't think that this will depreciate. I don't think that rupee will depreciate. Why? Now the share market P is also coming down. Inflation is also coming down. Only the factor is there is a possibility interest rate to come down. But that is after 5 years time. And also the balance of payment, GDP, the minus figure also coming down. Minus figure is also coming. So with this, all this information, we are assuming that exchange rate will not depreciate. So then there is no need for you to panic by entering into forward exchange contract. When the rupee is getting appreciated, why do you want to go and enter into a forward exchange contract? So based on that, so we are not recommending to go for forward exchange contract based on these scenarios, right? That's the answer we have. Any question you have? Now see, now can you see this? Basically, when you want to do this question, only thing you have to read and understand. Everything you can relate, whatever the subject matters we learn. Whatever subject matters we learn. You can relate it. So there is no anything new thing, right? And this time also we are expecting same thing from the customer, same thing from the exam. And now see, now this question, now net NPV. This is question number 8, the last question. Last question, last sub question as well. Now see, net present value is a method used to determine the current value of all future cash generated by a project. Remember the project we did it, project appraisal. Including the initial capital investment, it is widely used in capital budgeting to establish which projects are likely to turn the greatest profit. Now see, when you are doing treasury bond calculation, we do coupon interest as inflows. In the calculation of treasury bonds, did we have any outflows? No, nothing. Coupon rates, yes. Coupon interest, yes. How do you segregate? How did you decide number of periods based on frequency of coupon? Coupon එක ගෙවන්නේ අවුරුදු මාසයකට සැරයක් නම් එහෙනම් අපි කියමු අවුරුදු දෙකේ බොන්ඩ් එක ගන්න මාස 12ව දෙකක්. අවුරුදු දෙකේ බොන්ඩ් එක coupon එක ගෙවන්නේ annual නම් 2 years, 2 periods, 1 2. අවුරුදු දෙකේ බොන්ඩ් එකක් interest coupon interest එක ගෙවන්නේ semi annual නම් then you have how many periods? 4 periods. අවුරුදු දෙකයි මාසයව then අවුරුදු දෙක. That is how we decide now number of periods. So then you have coupon also. Now if it is half year, also you should take the semi-annual. Then end of the period you are getting what? Face value 100. Then you discount. Discount factor also has to be in line with the number of frequency of coupon frequency. So the discount factor example gives you annual anyway. If it is monthly, divided by 12, discount factor. If it is semi-annual, divided by 2. If it is quarterly, divided the annual one, how do you convert it to quarterly? Divided by 4. Right. So basically, that's how you should do this. So the coupon rate, coupon interest also based on the number of frequency of coupon, and also the discount factor has also should be there, right? And there you didn't have anything to year 0. Why? We are actually finding the price now, year 0 price only. How much do I have to pay now? You are finding the year 0 value now. But remember, when we are doing a project appraisal, now you want to purchase a vehicle, you want to purchase a machine. There is the initial cash outflow. Now there is the outflow. Year 0 we had outflow minus figure. Remember we did it? Now here is this. Now understand the segregation. Understand the difference. Treasury bonds, we are finding the year 0 value, but project appraisal we are finding if this project is viable. This project is acceptable. I'm going to invest. We are already investing. There is outflow. Understood the difference? The project appraisal, we are evaluating the project. Is the project viable? Is this project viable? Should we purchase this machine? Or otherwise we should purchase different. Or should we not purchase this machine? Then should we acquire this machine on rent basis, like that. So those are the decisions you make here. But treasury bond calculation, how much do you need to invest? Different, right? Now today 1000 is minus, year 0. Year 0 minus. Year 1, 250 net inflow. Year 2, 250 net inflow. Year 3, 450 net inflow. 4, 500 net inflow. The project cost of capital 12%. So what will my that? Given the below that the information relevant to specific project which has lifespan 4 years. So the project cost of capital is 12%. Project cost of capital is 12%. Now this is annual. This is annual. And based on the above information, calculate the net present value of the project based on the NPV stated here. Now, now 1000 is minus first one. Then the second one 250. Here. Then the next one 350. Then you have 450 third year. Then you have finally 500 fourth year. So these are the cash, net cash flows. Now see, now examiner has fortunately given you cash flows, but examiner can give you cash text type question and given you, then he can include depreciation. Depreciation this much. Now this 250 figure includes depreciation 50 per 50. So then you have to exclude. Why? Those are not cash basis items. You have to take only the cash basis item only. Provisions you should not take. Remember, keep in mind, provisions you should not select. You should include for the project appraisal calculation. Project appraisal calculation. And also the sunk cost. Remember, I have given you note. Sunk cost already incurred. Now say, now they are going to purchase a machine and they have already done a feasibility study by spending 100 million. They have already spent they have already spent 100 million to do a feasibility study. Don't take these figures into your calculation. Why? It is already sunk, gone. Whether you purchase this particular machine, whether you not purchase this particular machine, it will be relevant. Already incurred. Machine already incurred. Machine already incurred. So then you should not consider. You should not consider some cost or irrelevant cost for the calculation of project appraisal. Now this type of question first time we receive from the exam. Right? We have given otherwise the bond calculation, of course, that is there. But the project appraisal question, this type of question not received very often, right? Only thing what we can remember is this is easy question. Only thing relevant cost only you have to take it. Provisions don't take it. Depreciation don't take it. Or already incurred cost don't take it. Only the cash basis cost only you have to take it. Now see, project cost of capital is 12%. Now cost of capital comprises of what? Last week also I discussed. Important. Equity plus debt. Now these are talking about the company. Even the examiner not mentioned this is a company. This is a company. Why? Cost of capital basically coming from a company only. They have the cost of capital. They have equity cost of capital. They have a debt cost of capital. So once you get together, we call it what? WACC, WACC. So the equity capital can be found out by using dividend and a capital. The other one is also there is a tax adjustment for the debt instrument as well. That's important, right? Remember. Then here, what I want to tell you is here is an easy question. Only thing, how do you calculate the discounting factor here? 12%. Now there is no project for 12% on an annual basis goes. No hanky panky, nothing. So then 1 divided by, how do you do this? 1.12. That's what I want to tell you. This is how you calculate it. Remember that we did it. Otherwise, this is an easy question for you. I just wanted to refresh. How did we do this calculation? So 1 divided by 12%, 1 divided by 1.12. That is 0.89. To each exam take 4 decimals, right? The accuracy take 4 decimals. Then how this is period 1. This is period 1. How do you find the period 2? Take this, it is already there on your calculator. Take this as default, then you divided this by what? 1.12. Then you have the answer. So that I just wanted to give you this only. In the exam, you are not giving, you are not getting this, right? 7972. How do you do this? This as you should divide this by 1.12. Zero point 7118. Keeping this as on your calculator, you should divide it by 1.12. Then you have 1.12 divided by 7118 divided by 1.12. 0.6355. These are the things. Remember. So basically, here you are taking here you take here. Then you have a third year here. Now this time also there is a different way of asking this question, right? And it's a list, the number of one of the least answered question. Easiest question I can see. 5-mark question, easily you can take it. I don't know why students are not. I think they have not looked at. So don't do this. So here 0 how much? Comes always 1. Always should be 1. Now see how much. Now only thing you have to multiply 250 multiply 0.8928, 350 multiply 79, 450 multiply this, 500 multiply this. Then either here you answer is minus, 1000 is minus anyway. Check the answer you are getting for this. This thing plus name will come plus. I think the examiner use plus, right? Net inflow. Net කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවාරි මේකේ income and expenses. Income minus expenses තමයි මේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ. So examiner has given you the final figures. So you don't want to calculate it. Then once you multiply this, you get answer. When you multiply this, you get answer. Multiply this, you get answer. Then you add together everything. This is minus, these are plus. So the answer should be whatever that you are getting. So if it is positive, what is the examiner asking? Based on your NPV, state whether this project is viable or not. If it is positive answer, you should go for this. Basically, it's viable. We are accepting only the positive NPV project calculation projects. So the projects which give NPV positive, yes, we accept it. We accept it. Okay. So easy or difficult? I'm just showing you how easiness for you to do this question. So the last question, question number 8, question number 6, question number 9. Oh, there is no 9, 8. The last question. This is the one of the least number of students answered question. But the easiest question in this question paper, what I can see. Easiest. So nothing. 5 marks. Right? So don't do that. Just go through all these questions. You can easily. Now this time examiner can test you this question by giving weighted average cost of capital calculation. And again, it's basically this question paper. It includes similar type of question for you all. But the only thing. There was a question in this question paper. This question, now they back the 5-mark question, right? Now weighted average cost of capital is one of the commonly used methods. I'm just now basically, so these are the questions can be repeated this time also, right? These are the questions can be repeated this time also. The weighted average cost of capital is one of the commonly used methods of calculating the cost of capital of a company. Silver Trading Company is a large conglomerate in the country with a current capital. Now this question is very question number 3. Sub question 3. Right? Silver Trading PLC is a large conglomerate in the country with the current capital structure 70%. Now the capital is 70, balance 30 is debt. So why they have given this percentage to weight you. Remember. However, the management has decided to optimal capital structure for the company is 60 equity and 40 debt. Company is looking at a new project which will be financed by both equity and debt. Cost of equity of the company is 12. They have calculated for you. If the examiner has not given by calculating this, then you should be able to calculate by CAPM or dividend growth. This time, there is a possibility of coming. And cost of debt, 14%. When you are given a debt instrument to issue, now the coupon is 15%, you should adjustment to the tax. After tax only you have to. Company is currently paying corporate tax 28%. Now, when you calculate the cost of debt 14%, cost of capital and cost of debt. Cost of capital and cost of debt, the company is currently paying corporate tax 28%. So then what you do? Then you have to calculate, you take 12% and 14%, and then you should basically weight based on the 60 and 40. So that's the kind of 60 into 12, so the 40 into capital ratio. So then you add together and divide by. Here you don't know to divide anything, why the percentage has been given. So remember when we did a calculation with figures. So that's the question we are expecting this time. With figures. Capital 500,000, debt 200,000, cost is this. Then what will be the total back figure? Weighted average cost of capital figure. So that's the right. Very easy question for you to answer. And I just want to tell you one thing is now there is a question. Financial market operation question, right? This is 2009. I see. You can see this. This is financial market operation 2019 September. Now there can be a question with regard to this. So I'll be taking this question with you all. Now you know share market is highly top investment opportunity now. So there is a high chance of getting question on share market. So basically there is a tendency to ask question as well. All share price index. Now the examination question. I think this you can download this question, right? Either link has been sent to you by the institute. This is financial market operations 2019 September, not the 2021, but 2019 question. For this question, you can attempt this question. A very important question. Very important question. Examiner can test you this question, and also it gives another one, details of the 3-year government security issued by the government of Sri Lanka. This is how you do then calculate the issue price of the bond. This type of question examiner has not tested in your exam. He has just tested the giving the hypothetical or basically now this interest yield and all this 7.5 not tested, and we will be doing that question as well. Just give a open interest rate and a tenor, then calculate it. That's all. Now the issue date is 15 August 2019. Maturity is 15 August 2022. Semi-annual interest. Now see. Now 1922. How many years? Which is like 3 years. If it is 3 years, so how many periods you should take it? If it is annual, 3 years, but here interest is paid, coupon interest is paid semi-annual. Coupon interest is paid semi-annual. So if it is semi-annual, it has to be output then the output would higher. So the number of periods will be 6. And also, here remember the important thing is, examiner has given you the face value as 1000. So generally, we take face value is 100. But basically, this question we have taken somewhere else. So 1000 is basically, you can see other countries, US countries, they have 1000 face value. But here basically you have to calculate 7.5% on 1000, and basically you have to divide it into 2. Why? Semi-annual interest. So we will be taking this question next week, and I will be more focusing on relevant questions. Any question you have, please go through this question. I think the link has been sent to you. 2019, this financial market operation paper. I think 2021 financial market operation paper also I have. I will upload. I'll ask to upload. There also you get short selling and margin trading. Explain the role of the broker in selling margin. I need to do this. These are the target questions this time, right? So basically, there is a high chance of now if you can see this is amazing. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't upload this. Now I have with me 2021 January financial market operation paper. Now this is 2019 September financial market operation. This is 2019, right? Question number we were referring to question number 3, and 2021 January. The paper is with me. Question number 3, I am just reading to you. Next time I will ask them to upload it. Now see, this is what you can see is 2019 September paper question number 3. This one. Now what I am reading now is 2021 January question number 3. See, details of this I am reading 2021 January. Yeah? Details of 5-year government security issued by the government of Sri Lanka are given below. Issue date 15 November 2019. Maturity date 15 November 2024. Coupon 7.5. Coupon frequency semi-annual. Issue yield 7.3. Face value 1000. Explain whether this bond is issued at a premium or discount. What is the next coupon date for this bond, and what is the amount of coupon received by a bondholder who has bought rupees 1000 face value bond? Same question, but two different questions. Now see, repetition of questions is this. Repetition of question. Here the examiner is asking you to calculate 2009 in September, calculate the issue price of the bond. Here they are asking, explain whether this bond is issued at a premium or discount. Then the second question is asking, what is the next coupon date for this bond, and what is the amount of coupon received by the bondholder. Now for you to calculate this, explain whether this bond is issued at a premium or discount. Now this bond is 5-year bond. 5-year bond. 5-year government 2019 තමයි issue date, maturity 2024. 5-year bond. Coupon is semi-annual. So how many periods then? 10 periods. 10. So you can calculate if you want by taking time, by utilizing or by spending time 10-year period, and find out whether this bond is above 100 or below 100, above 1000 or below 1000. If it is above 1000, it is premium. Below 1000, it is discount. Now, do we need to calculate to find out that? That's my question. Do you need to calculate? You don't need to calculate. You can calculate if you want. How to decide it? Remember the relationship we learned, price and the yield? Yes. Do you remember the relationship we learned, coupon and the yield? You use this. Coupon and the yield relationship. If you can recall the notes, what we have done, it's there. Coupon 7.5. Yield 7.3. You remember what we have done? Purchase, the coupon is 7.5. Market yield, you are buying at this particular bond 7.3. You are investing this particular bond at 7.3. Now, okay, now tell me, now in this particular question, what you can see, what is the discount factor? Coupon, of course, you can take it. Correct. 100,000 face value is also coming. So you need discounting. What discount factor you are using? You need to use. Specifically, examiner has not given, okay, this is discount factor. Do you need to give him? No. Why? This is individual guy is going to invest. I'm expecting this much yield. Where does it say? Oh, I need this much of percentage. For what can? But there's a point, you can identify that. Where? Is going to invest in this particular bond, what price? What yield? Coupon. Coupon is whoever who purchased, coupon gets until 2022 August 15th. Coupon in how many? Don't worry about the coupon. Then What field? 7.3. That is what issue yield is what? Issue yield is what? Market yield. Market yield. Market yield. So that's how you basically examiner is not meaning everything you know. But you should be able to find out whatever the things for your calculation. Sometimes examiner gives you unnecessary information as well. Unnecessary information as well can be given. Yes. Only you have to select necessary information only. Here you will be discounting this particular bond at rate 7.3. Issue yield. So sometimes then why they have not mentioned, why they have not told, why they have not mentioned market yield, they are only mentioning issue yield. This particular bond may be issuing now only. There's a possibility. Issue yield, that's why they say issue yield. So otherwise actually this is kind of misleading, but if you say yield, then more than enough. But only thing here the only percentage is giving what? Only percentage is giving what? Coupon and the yield. Coupon anyway we are not taking coupon as anyway we are not taking coupon as discount effect, anyway we are taking the market yield. Or the required rate of return, expected return, nothing has been given, but instead of those, examiner gives you issue yield. Basically, you go by the yield. So your money will be investing in this particular instrument at 7.30. Would you like? Would you like? Now, remember the relationship we learned, coupon and the yield. Same thing you apply here in this 2021 paper. 2021 paper is asking you asking you whether this bond is premium or discount. Obviously, when the yield comes down, then the coupon of this bond is trading at free. So that's how you don't calculate. Otherwise, it's a cumbersome task. 10 periods. Calculate it, same answer you should receive. It should be more than 1,000. It should be more than 1,000. So that has to be anyway there. Right? So then I will stop from there. So I will take some questions from, I will ask them to upload this question paper as well for your easy reference. So then we will, do you have any question? I'm just taking important question which can be repeated this time as well. So then they are different ways, right? Not the same question. Now same question I spoke to now 2021 financial market operation paper. Same question but different, same question data but the different question possible. Right? Any question you have? So then we will meet up for next week for the further questions. Right? Thank you very much. Any question, you bring it to me. I will give my mobile number as a note 7701113520. That is my mobile. If you have come across any gray area when you study notes, please ask me. Right? I'm there to help you. Right? Thank you very much.